Hello, my friends. I'm really excited about my plan for the collective today. So I'm still working through this pink fresh box, and I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to start incorporating my new pink fresh box or not. So while I was deciding that, I'm like, okay, well, I have this picture that I want to scrapbook, and I'm also working through a challenge over at Mind the Scrap. And that challenge is we have to use dotty paper, diagonal design, a title with a D in it, oh, look at the wind's going, distressing and a doily. So what I was thinking, so I went into my box and I'm like, all right, let me find a dotty paper. So this one is a dotty paper, right? So I'm like, okay, this is a Christmas line, which is kind of funny because I know it doesn't look Christmassy, but it is from a Christmas line. See right here, it is called Christmas Cheer from the Holiday Wishes collection. But it is dotty and it works. And who doesn't like red, white, and blue? And I knew I wanted to use this photo for no other reason than I tend to like scrapbooking the most recent thing that happens and then I work my way back. I'm just a lot more inspired that way, I guess. So then I've been working through a lot of these doily challenges, right? And it's not like I have a giant doily. Sorry, there's a little like hanger offer there. I don't have a ton of doilies, but I've been working through my doily collection pretty darn well on the last few layouts. So what I decided to challenge myself to do, aside from, I'm using a warehouse box kit, put that back on because the wind's coming through the window coming this way, is to use this Christmas line as the whole base for this layout of, because, there's navy and there's blue and there's like, for example, see this right here, like this frame, it has these little marks on there that makes you think of snowflakes when it's Christmas time, but it's just the little stars when it's August. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and start working on this layout and see how far it takes me. I'm a little excited to use all this Christmassy kind of stuff. Also, I want to use up some of this chipboard that's in here as well. So much of it I can use and not even think of it as Christmas. So I'm going to see where this takes me. Okay, here I go. I'm going to speed up the next bits and voice it over. All right, let's go. So I did know that I wanted to work on a diagonal design, and that's one of the first things I start doing here. Now I did the filming of this a couple weeks ago, and I'm voiceovering it in the future, so this feels really weird. I usually will film and voice over the next day so everything's super fresh. So we get to see what I did together. I have very little clue. Okay, now these little doilies, they're adorable. I have this pack and they can't be more than 3-inch doilies. So I use those to start my entire design going down on the diagonal. And I knew this next thing I really wanted to do is to see how much of this chipboard that I can get into this layout. I've always kind of struggled getting these kind of heavy frames onto my layouts. I should just take off a bunch of the extra chipboard. You know how you can do the layers. That would probably help. But anywho, I decided to go ahead and get them in, and I did like that. Okay, I have baby blue, I have navy, and then this orangey red. It's like a deep coral. Now I really liked it in this layout, but I did not like it as part of the Christmas collection. So kind of excited that that worked out. Now you saw I went ahead and put a little piece of that adhesive foam behind the area where the photo will be. Most of the photo gets to sit up on the chipboard frames, so it's going to be supporting it just fine. But it kind of felt like that worked out. In my favor, that I have so much that I can pop it up with. Now, I did get, let's see, I have the frames on, and I'm going ahead and putting those little rectangle pieces, and those are chipboard as well. Sorry, I had to shut the door. A dog wanted in, and a cat wanted out. So sometimes we have to do a little bit of real life shuffling during these voiceovers. Okay, so this is another chipboard piece. This is a little chipboard circle, and That green, it's like a sage green, but it has a little bit of a blue tone in it as well. I'm telling you that these colors, for me, work better for non-Christmas. For some reason, at Christmas time, I want my red to be red. And if I can, have my green to be green. But shout out to Pink Fresh. They always keep things fun and new and engaging. It's one of my favorite companies. Which is funny because I think my favorite scrapbook company is One Canoe 2. And Pink Fresh is probably my second favorite, and they look nothing alike whatsoever. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and use this scrap piece of paper that I have in my box to mat my photo, and I do choose that brighter corally red. Now, the picture, I don't think I told you what this picture is about. My husband and I went downtown. We were just having one of those date days. I like date days better than date nights. So we were having a date day, and we went to, I believe, Founders Brewery in Detroit because they had the world's best meat and cheese tray. And once we got there, we realized, or we were told, that they took it off the menu. And then I'm not a beer person at all, but there's a couple I can drink, and Green Zebra is one of them. I think it's Green Zebra. And they said, oh, well, we don't have that right now. So I'm like, okay, this place is dead to me. No reason for me to be there. But they did come back, and they gave me one. They had me sample one that tastes like a margarita. I think it's finished in tequila barrels or something. I really don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a beer person. I'm not hip enough to know what I'm talking about. Anywho, so that's what that picture is. My husband took the picture of me trying out this tequila or margarita tasting beer, and it came in this cute little goblet-y thing. Anywho, and it is summertime here, so I'm actually wearing a sundress. Thank goodness it was warm enough, and that is it. So you see that I'm matting my photo several times because I've been in an extreme layering phase. But most of the layering I've been doing lately has been like clean layering, like even layers. I haven't been staggering that much lately. We all go in these little phases. You know what I mean. Anywho, so we are going to get this photo on. And the nice thing is with this dotty paper that I'm using, the dots are like very grid-like, so I can just use them as my guide. I was able to do the same thing when I was putting all the chipboard pieces on. It makes it just a little bit easier, but I always do have the handy-dandy T-square ruler nearby. You guys are used to that. So I'm not scrapbooking in my usual spot right now. I mean, I have a really good setup in my basement storage room, which is where my craft room is. But in the summertime, it's right next to my furnace, and it is freezing in there, like cold enough that my nose can run the entire time. So I've been, currently I'm scrapbooking in my youngest daughter's room. She is already at school, she's at college, and so I took over the window in her room. So I'm getting a little shadow that I wouldn't have with my really good studio lights, but I'm not freezing and I am topside. In the winter, I don't care if I'm in the basement the whole time, quite frankly. All right, you're getting way too much overshare on this video. Back to what we're doing. Okay, you see I'm there in the brewery, and I'm just trying to see where I might like these little chipboard arrow pieces to go. I do end up, or most often, I like things to be full of contrast. So I want a light blue with a dark blue and a navy with a red and so on. I am not, it's not often that you'll see me do monochromatic. I did have a challenge going earlier in the year where all of our pages were monochromatic following the rainbow, and that, let me tell you, that was a ball to do. Because I ended up going into my color bins I have color drawers, and I was able to use all of these random bits and pieces in ways that I just wouldn't have otherwise. Anyhow, that was fun. This is a different layout. And so what you see here, these are the embellishments that I have for this Christmas line that's in my challenge accepted box. And I have these really great little, they're like wood veneer alphas, and they're really nice and adhesive. So wood veneer adhesive alphas. So I'm seeing what I can spell out with them, and I will go ahead and try to get this title set up. So what feels like 3 hours later, I get my very long title on, which I have running on the page on a diagonal. It says, no, I usually don't drink beer. Oh, there you go, my little hands are doing that. Okay, so because I usually don't drink beer, there are a couple I can drink, but that's it. Blech. I usually just do not like the taste. And I know so many people that are so into the craft beer scene, and they actually know what they're talking about. I have no clue. So I'm looking at the wood veneer pieces that are in this Christmas collection, and I'm able to use the cute little stars, but most of them have very Christmas centered words. But if I can use a little bit from each of these embellishment pieces, I feel like it's a win, because I wasn't planning on pulling out this Christmas collection till December time. So I am really chuffed about how this is going. You see right there that I have the puffy stickers for the collection as well, and I'm finding places to put a few of those in, and they really do work. I mean, it's interesting if you have like Janet says, like a mood and feel that you're working with. I don't think it's necessarily the most important thing to have your colors be spot on to your photo. As long as your photo is what pops, that's absolutely what matters. And in this particular layout, I think it's fantastic as well that I'm scrapbooking a picture of myself. I usually am so focused on crafting pictures of my family and all of our goings on that I don't always remember to include me. I mean, I'm lucky enough that my husband acts like a 13-year-old girl with his first camera phone, that he does take pictures constantly. So that is getting done. You saw that I used the epoxy circles in a few places, and now I'm going ahead and getting some of these little epoxy and wood button pieces. Now I usually take those little epoxy centers out because I find them to be so dimensional, but my chipboard's already crazy dimensional. So I went ahead and just went with it. I do like the wood veneer button look of it. I just don't like how crazy chunky they are. I did take the little foamy pieces off of the backs of them though, because that adds like another, like eighth, I don't know, I'd say quarter centimeter, third centimeter, whatever it is. It does add yet more dimension that we don't necessarily need in this situation. So there is that. See, I'm sticking those little foamy pieces to my light because I'll end up using them when I'm just putting up a little die cut to have a little dimension. They were not harmed in the making of this layout. They will be used and have their moment. So I'm trying to see where I might want this little corally red wood veneer epoxy piece. I just am really being cognizant that I want everything running on a diagonal. So I just went ahead and slightly hid that under the photo, but it's adding another pop of red, which is fun, that I'm bringing the red here and there throughout the layout. Since it is the first mat in my photo, it's fun. Now in this collection, I was lucky enough also to get the enamel dots, which I have been trying to keep with the collection. I'm doing such a good job with that. I do have that whole second pink brush box for challenge accepted, and I also have a box that I keep deciding if I want to switch over to that. It's Felicity Jane from last Christmas, and I haven't even touched it, and it is chock full. I have that, and then I ordered 2 sets of the Paper House warehouse boxes that just came out. I think they're $33 for $100 worth of blah, blah, blah. No idea what's in them. I haven't got a shipping notice or anything yet. When I do, I will go ahead and put that up on my channel because I'm excited to see what is in them. I have no idea. I tried to look on YouTube and I really didn't find any good unboxings for them. but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'm just sprinkling along these enamel dots. I'm going to leave the links to the other ladies that are going to take part in this little, it's not a hop, it's just a series that we do. I think the third Wednesday of the month. I will leave links to their channels below. Also, if you could take the time to like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, I would appreciate it. YouTube likes to keep tabs on my content, see what everybody is liking and not liking, and what else? Oh, if you want to be notified when I have a video go live, go ahead and hit that little notification button, which is to the bottom right of your screen. I'm gonna go ahead and do a tiny bit of journaling. I'm not a heavy journaler, but I'm gonna do a tiny bit of journaling on these little chipboard pieces. It's slightly scary because if you mess up your journaling on them, you got to come up with a piece of paper to put on top and try to make that look good. But it went just fine, and I did not mess it up this time around. I also didn't have that much to say. I do so much scrapbooking of the everyday that it's not always a big event that needs to have any kind of a celebration built around it. So I am going to go ahead and get a little bit of the Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine on this layout. I'm going to have to use some little bit bigger dots because I have so many polka dots here and there on all of my on my background paper. So in order for it to show up, I have to be just a little heavy-handed, and that is just fine. The thing not fine is I'm going to have to come up with a good sub for my Heidi Swapp Color Shine at some point. It will be quite sad when that happens, but we will be brave and get through it, I am sure. There'll be another product that I love just as much at that time. All right, so now this is a little closer to done. I have my diagonal, I have my doilies, I have the multiple amounts of paper layers behind my photos. So I do really like the way that this one came out. Hope you like it too. Here's a still shot of the layout right here, and that's going to be about it for today, my friends. I will talk to you ever so soon. Thanks so much for watching.